Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new, my name is Sophia and I haven't seen you guys in a really long time. Hi. I'm back. So I guess what I probably should say is I haven't spoken to you in a long time, but you've seen me recently. The video you guys saw last week, my July TBR video, was filmed actually at the end of June, and then it took me till after my vacation to edit and upload that video. So I was missing for about a week, 2 weeks. I think I missed 2 Fridays. So here I am. Hi everybody, welcome to July. We're officially back at filming and doing the YouTube stuff. While I was on vacation, I decided I wanted to do one of the mid-year book wrap-up videos because I've been watching all of my favorite booktubers mid-year wrap-up videos and I love them. So I just feel like we need to do it because I want to do it and I think it's fun. So here we go. Here we are. I have my little Notion thing of all my questions I want to ask you guys. Also, did you see? This is the only thing I've unpacked so far is my books, because this is the only thing I wanted to unpack was my books because they bring me so much joy. I needed them unpacked. So I, like everyone else, got the questions for this book tag thing. I specifically got mine from Sarah Caroli, but I've also, other people I've watched have said the same thing. So I'm assuming this is a universal mid-year book tag question list. So starting off strong, how many books have you read so far this year? Now I have read 41 books out of my 65 books for my reading goal. And it says I'm 6 books ahead of schedule. So I'm enjoying myself greatly. So the next one I have on my list is best sequel you've read this year, and the immediate book that I thought of because I loved it so much was Killer Instinct by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is the Natural series. I have an entire reading vlog that I can link for you guys up in the iCards and wherever else you can link stuff. I don't know. I absolutely loved this book, and unfortunately in that vlog I lost all the footage of me reading Killer Instinct, but I freaking loved this book. It was so good. Oh my god, it was so good. I think honestly I would say that this is my favorite book in the Natural series. I just loved the storyline that this followed and the characters that this followed more closely than the other 3 in the series. I would 1000% suggest reading this entire series, but especially this book. It was so good. Oh my god, I still think about it. These are new releases that you haven't read but you want to from 2024. The book that I have physically that is a new release that I want to read is Leather and Lark by, I'm assuming it's Brianne Weavers. I read Butcher and Blackbird. I think I read it this year and absolutely freaking loved it. It was one of my 5 stars of the year. I think it might have been my first 5-star of the year. Actually, I absolutely loved that book. I have a sweatshirt. It has the Butcher and Blackbird restaurant on it. I loved that book. And so when this book was announced and I had seen the release date coming out this year, I was so excited, but I haven't gotten around to reading it. I don't know why. Sometimes with books like Butcher and Blackbird that I love so much, I have a really hard time going into the sequel or the next book in that series because I'm so afraid that it's not going to be as good as I want it to be. So hopefully when I do get around to reading this book, it's as good as I'm expecting. Biggest surprise. Now this one, I had a hard time thinking of one book that really made me feel like that. So I'm giving you a couple options. This is way too many to give for an answer, but I don't care. I don't care. I have more I could also say. Okay, we're gonna run down. This isn't in order of when I've read them, but these are the ones that I thought of immediately as the biggest surprises that I've read this year, because 3 of them are genres that I just normally wouldn't have picked up, and 2 of them are by authors that I just wasn't sure if I was gonna like or not, and ended up absolutely freaking loving. So first we have The Naturals. Specifically just the entire series as a whole was a huge surprise for me because genuinely I didn't think that I was going to find a series that I liked this much, but I'm a huge Criminal Minds, that kind of thing. I'm a huge fan of that, so I'm not surprised that I liked this as much as I did. I need to put these down. The next 2 are genres of romance pretty much that I just wasn't expecting myself to like so much. So first I have Butcher and Blackbird. This I think is a dark romance. It's a serial killer romance. I did not know I was going to love it as much as I did, but it genuinely floored me how much I actually really, really liked this book, and I'm excited to read the second one. So there's that. I don't even think I need to even mention this as like the biggest surprise of the year. I was not expecting, first, Allie to put this out, and secondly, to enjoy it, and to literally, I think this might be the most annotated book I have ever. I went to freaking town on this thing. I went through all 7,000 million stages of every single emotion you can ever have ever whilst reading this book, and yep, that's all. Favorite author, debut or new to you? Okay, the first author that came to mind for me was Jennifer Lynn Barnes of the Inheritance Games as well as the Natural series. I just recently started reading the Inheritance Games and I'm loving it because I loved the Natural series so much. I decided to read more from her, and I think that's why she was the first author I thought of like immediately after I read the question. So that's my answer for that. Newest fictional crush, I would say first is Justin from Just for the Summer. I fucking love that guy. I also said Dean from The Naturals because he's just, I just want to squish him. I just want to like squish him. And a newly, like literally as of 3 days ago when I started reading the book, Anders from A Novel Love Story. I fucking loved that guy. I loved him so much. I love so much. Okay, anyways, moving on. Next question is a book that made you cry. Okay, I'm not gonna get it out right this very minute, but Just for the Summer is the first book that I thought of because I genuinely sobbed a couple of times throughout this book, as well as The Dead Romantics. Again, cried 60 pages into it. Oh, it's so good. Okay, anyways. Moving along. A book that made you happy. This one was much more fun to think of. Wild Love by Miss Elsie Silver. All of her books are just so... Her books just always give me such happy emotions. I just love the books because I know how they're going to go, and I know the cozy, fun, bantery, just like good romance I'm going to get out of them. I always know they're going to hit. Even... I just recently started going back and reading the Gold Rush Ranch series. That was like her first small town cowboy romance series that she put out, and I'm loving those too. Like, I just know that Elsie is gonna give me a good time, a fun time, and I'm gonna be happy and in love with all the characters by the end of the book. So this is that. Moving on. How many 5 stars have you had this year? At the time that I typed up the answers to all these questions on my Notion, it was 5. It's now 6. You'll find out more about that book later. But yeah, I have 6 5 stars, which is crazy. It's roughly coming out to be about 1 5-star a month. That could mean by the end of the year we'd have 12 5 stars from the year, and that is a pretty good number. Technically, if you count the reread I did this year, it would be 7, because I reread The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood because it's my comfort book and I love it so much and I want to literally live in that book at all times. But if you don't count rereads as a new 5-star for the year, it would be 6. But if you do, it's 7. This question has to do with rereads, which I think is interesting. It is, what books do you want to reread this year? I couldn't really pick one book that I knew I wanted to reread. So I'm going to give you guys a couple like series and like generalized authors I'd like to reread books that I've read from. So the first thing I want to reread is the ACOTAR series. This is what got me into reading, which is insane because I really haven't read much fantasy since reading this book series. And, you know, I have like the entire Throne of Glass series to read, but this is a terrifying thought to get into. So I'm like, what if I just go back to the books that I know and I feel comfortable in, you know? So depending on how I feel, I may or may not try in August to start filming a like ACOTAR reread series with you guys, where we like reread the series together in like vlog format. I think that would be really fun. Let me know. Another whole series that I am just kind of generalizing saying I want to reread is the Chestnut Spring series. This is one of my 5-star series of all time. This series I just love so much, and I think it's the only reason that I'm really like, I would love to reread the series. It's just solely because of how amazing it is, and specifically Heartless. I think this is the only book from the series that I genuinely am yearning to reread because Willa and Cade have my heart. They're one of my all-time favorite book couples to ever exist in any of the books that I've read. Okay. Camera decided to die, so we're just gonna do the last two on my phone because I genuinely cannot handle existing right now. Anyways, we're on the last two. I was so close. So close to being finished. Last two are the best book you've read so far in 2024 and the best series you've read so far in 2024. The best series I've read is The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. That series, genuinely, I am considering rereading because of how much I genuinely enjoyed and had such a good time reading that series. Specifically, I would love to reread Killer Instinct. I mean, hello, I said it was the best sequel I've read. So like, duh, I want to reread it already. And the best book, now this was very hard for me to pick because I have had a lot of really good reads this year. As I already stated, I have like 7 5-stars of the year. But this one, for me, I just think stands out so much because of how emotionally impacted I was whilst reading the book and having finished it and how it just made me feel. And that is Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. I don't know if by the end of the year I will find another book that tops this one for me, but as of right now, this is my number one from the year. I genuinely think that this book has changed me into a better person, and I don't think I can ever go back from how much I love this book and how much it has made me feel. But yeah, there's my mid-year book tag. I hope you guys enjoyed. I had fun, kind of, sort of, not really. I had fun filming, but I'm also kind of in a bad mood now. So I'm gonna go watch YouTube for a little while and then decide whether or not I'm gonna edit. Okay, well anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe down below. And don't forget to put on those post notifications so you get a notification the next time I post. I'll see you guys next time. Toodles! I'm about ready to literally throw hands with anybody that talks to me.